Nation of Fitin10, it is day 47, really the first day into the final third of this challenge. I can't tell you how fast this goes, right? 23 days to go. You can still make mega massive change, okay? You can still make some really, really good change. It's still a third of the challenge. It's a little more intense. You understand things better now. You have a chance here to really, really make some change, okay? Every day counts. Every day counts. Okay, keep that in your mind. Just take one day at a time. And, of course, just do your best, okay? Just do your best. It's not the end of the world if something, God forbid, if you, quote, mess up, right? All right, let's get right into some more feedback here because I'm still on, where am I at? I'm still on May 30th, so I'm still like technically 2 weeks behind. So let's do this. Name something specific you need help with. I am concerned that I am not making any progress from the scan. I've been following everything and doing all the workouts, etc. But given the fact that my scan was so terrible, I don't have any faith in the fact that what I'm doing is working. Okay, well, actually, ironically, yesterday I just did this person's scan, and this person did exceptionally well. They exceeded their mini goal, so they went from their first 3 weeks to making a little bit of progress, but certainly not that much, to all of a sudden making tremendous progress. So something changed from the first 3 weeks to the second 3 weeks, right? So kudos to this person. Hopefully now you feel much differently than what you wrote here. Of course, this is 2 weeks ago. Over 2 weeks ago. So it's just a matter of putting the wheels in motion and making the things, making the individual pillars of this challenge happen. Diet can be a tough one though because you can make mistakes without knowing it, right? So, and this can really throw people off. So anyways, kudos to this person. You know who you are. Keep up the great work. Okay. All right. Name something specific you can improve on for the following week. Eating more whole foods and less noodles. Yes, most certainly. Again, when we have something or when you state something that you're going to improve upon, be very specific about what exactly it is and how you're going to go about it. Right? So maybe you're going to say, I am no longer going to eat noodles, and I'm going to replace that with, real whole food, or specifically what kinds of foods you're going to, whatever, right? Apples, bananas, yams, and I don't know, brown rice, jasmine rice, something like that, okay? Name something specific you need help with. Is protein powder the right way to get protein? Okay, so this is, I'm not really sure by what you mean by the right way. There's a lot of interpretation to say what is the right way. So let me just be clear. Protein powder, especially whey-based, whey isolate specifically, whey-based protein powder is a very good source of protein. It's very high in essential amino acids, especially those branched chain amino acids, which are really going to help with recovery. And it's, generally speaking, if you're getting a good brand, like Magnum Quattro, for instance, you are getting mainly protein out of the calories that you're getting. So yes, it's a very great way to get protein. But, I do want you to get variety in your diet because with, real whole sources of protein, of foods that are protein strong. That's what I meant to say. You're getting a lot of the micronutrients, right? The vitamins and the minerals that you're just not going to get in a protein powder. So they each have their pros and cons, really. Okay, protein powder is going to be more protein, really. It's just going to be more protein dense. With the exception of, like, say, egg whites. Egg whites are pure protein when it comes to the calories that are in them. But yes, protein powder is one way to supplement your protein, and it is a great way if it is whey. Okay, there are other protein powders. If they are plant-based protein powders, this would be another okay option, I would say. The question is how bioavailable are they? Generally speaking, plant-based foods are just not as bioavailable. And of course, they are going to be lower in essential amino acids. Those amino acids the body cannot make, that we can only get from other food sources, which, by the way, if you are eating a lot of plant-based foods and not animal proteins, it is a reminder for you to, or I'd highly recommend that you take an essential amino acid supplement, okay? One other thing I want to say here, try not to have more than about a third of your protein intake from powders, okay? Okay, from bars or powders. Bars are fine if it's not really protein powder based. But if we're talking about protein powder, try to get a third of your protein from, do not exceed a third of from protein powder. Okay, so if you've got 150 grams of protein in your diet, try not to exceed 50 grams of protein coming from powder. Okay, but protein powder, especially a whey isolate, very high absorption, very high in essential amino acids, so the quality is very high, and it's very convenient, right? Okay, how am I doing for time here? 6.5. Name something specific you can improve upon for the following week. Try heavier weights. My tailbone is feeling better, but still sore. I want to build more muscle as I didn't build much at the last weigh-in. Going to try heavier weights and less sets during the Zoom classes and do 1, maybe 2 more personal workouts. Okay, so there's a lot I can say on this, and I'm gonna break this up because I'll talk about this for like at least 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna say this. Your scan, so first of all, you can't build that much muscle in 3 weeks. Okay, and this is going back a number of weeks ago, so this was just from 1 scan to the second scan, 3 weeks period. You're not going to build that much muscle mass, okay? You're just not. You're not going to build that much muscle tissue. So, but you can build some. But the question is, how much will it show on your scan? This is very hard because a lot of your muscle mass is intracellular water in the muscle, and this goes up and down all the time. From now until an hour from now, it'll be different in me. Okay, it'll be somewhat different. It'll be especially different after exercise. It'll be different in the morning from night. It's just, there are a lot of things that are going to affect the water in the muscle that goes up and down. So yes, you may actually increase the tissue in the muscle by, let's say, in 3-week period, let's say 1/3 of a pound, okay, which would be really, really good, by the way, okay, 1/3 of a pound. But you could affect the water in the muscle by 2 or 3 pounds. So the water in the muscle could be down, let's just say this person's a smaller person, so let's just say it was down by 1.5 pounds. So your muscle mass is down in water by 1.5 pounds, but you've put on 1/3 of actual tissue. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that, and it's going to show that you lost muscle. But the reality is your actual muscle tissue is higher. The muscle mass, this is a hard one to gauge when we're talking about small changes. Okay, obviously if you gain 10 pounds of muscle, you're going to see it regardless, okay? And I'll talk about the rest of this in tomorrow's video. Let's get to the message of the day. Message of the day. All right, so those who remain focused win. Okay, and I use win, but you can say succeed. Those who remain focused towards their endeavor. When we say focused, that is they are focused on what they are doing and they are actually implementing the plan. This goes for anything. Those who remain focused, those are the people that really make strides ahead. And there's an interesting individual that I know of by the name of Patrick David. It's just got a very interesting story. He has a podcast on YouTube. You can look it up, the PBD podcast. He talks about, there's a difference between people who are focused, who are really highly focused for a week or a month, right? And then there are those people who are really focused for 6 months. And he's talking more in business here, but you can apply this to anything. And he says, but the people that really stand out are those that are focused for years, decades. He goes, it's very hard to compete in the business world with people who are focused, who are really focused, decades. Okay? Yeah, sure, there's going to be, like, it's not like every day they're 100%, right? But he actually gave this graph, and he showed, like, there's some people that will be like, if this is 100%, over time there'll be these like little variations and gaps, but overall they're still at that 100% over a long period of time. And then there are people that will be like, they might hit 100%, they're really focused, but then they'll fall down and they'll go through these big spikes of productivity and basically level of focus. But it's those people who can remain focused, and this really applies to diet, nutrition. It's not necessarily about being perfect with your numbers, but if you are in this challenge, I think that's great. It's more about being reasonable and consistent. I said this from the beginning. Over time, okay? 80% or 90, 80, 85% over a long period of time is way more powerful than 100% for 10 weeks. Way more. Way more. Okay? So just remember that. Those who remain focused win. Okay? And focus doesn't mean perfect. Okay? Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, for love, God, give some gratitude. I'll talk to you very soon. See you guys.